The purpose of this video is to give a quick introduction to the Post tab on Microsoft Teams. Okay, there are a number of different styles of post that you will need to be familiar with in order to effectively communicate and navigate on Microsoft Teams. The first example that is on this demonstration class is an announcement style post. The first two are actually both announcement style posts, and you can see that via these little symbols to the top right of them. The first one is an example that could be used for a lesson announcement. In that lesson announcement, a couple of important features that are possible is the fact that an announcement can include a link to a SharePoint document so that it could open up in a separate window, or it could also include an attachment link to a document that may already be uploaded to the file section on Microsoft Teams. It is possible to change the style of an announcement depending on the purpose, and this would be an example where it is meant to be eye-catching because it could be an important message that needs to be seen and read. So they are important to look out for because sometimes they talk about important things like technical issues that may be happening on Microsoft Teams, or announcing a meeting that may be occurring in the future that you need to be a part of. Below the two examples of the announcement posts are the most common style that you will see, and these are just general posts that people can start to type and use for general communication. So if you were to click down in the standard box down here and start typing a post, that is the style of post that it would get. And the moment that you press enter, that will post your message. There is little formatting involved in these styles of posts. What you can see below even the announcement and the standard style is this little reply button. If you are to press that button, what it will do is show a little bit of indentation, and if you see a post that you feel you need to reply to, such as if there was a problem with a lesson, or you needed to comment on an important announcement, or just continue a conversation from someone's initial post, it is highly recommended that you click the reply. This will then start to group messages that are related to one another together, and if there is a long series of reply messages, then Microsoft Teams will automatically collapse those to save up screen space, and it means that it is much more likely that you will see some of the important announcements as opposed to a big long list of conversation. An important feature to be aware of when you are doing standard posts, regardless of where it is or even if it's a reply to any other, is the fact that you are able to tag certain groups or individuals in that message. That is an important way of communicating directly with someone because that person will be notified and they will know immediately if they have a message from you for them. The way to do it is to choose the @ symbol, and Teams will automatically come up with some suggestions. This demonstration class only has 2 members, so they are the immediate suggestions. But as soon as you start to type in a name, it will start to narrow that down according to who matches what you have already typed. Another important thing to know is that you can actually tag an entire group. So if I wanted this entire team to see my message, I could just start typing in the team, and if I click that, then it's ready to go, and it starts to get this light blue highlighted color that differentiates it, and you can see it here, and it can be underlined, and it tells me the details of who has been tagged. If you press backspace once, it can also take off the last part of that name. So for example, as soon as I put in a person's name, and if I click that, if it doesn't make sense to use their first and last name, I could press backspace and just use the first name and use that as a way of having general conversation but also tagging. Other important features to be aware of, that if you see a comment that you need to respond to or like, you can use simple emoji to demonstrate that, and perhaps that is a way of saving screen real estate as well, but also an effective way of telling someone that you have seen and understood what they have done. Below those 2 standard posts, you will see an example of an automatic posting that happens when an assignment has been set for a class. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you click this button, it will directly take you to the assignment, which can also be found by pressing on the Assignments tab up here. The last example of a style of post that is on this screen is this one right here. This is what happens when a Teams meet has been conducted and recorded. Once the Teams meet has finished, it will be uploaded to Microsoft Stream, and it will tell you the length of that recording. So if you are involved in a Teams meet with your class for an online lesson and you are meant to be there but perhaps miss it or feel that you need to go back and rewatch it even if you're involved, that's where you can click it and see some of the details, and it will again link to Microsoft Stream. The last thing on this page, on this post tab, to be familiar with is just actually typing the messages. So again, very simple messages like these two right here are done by typing and pressing enter. If you feel you need to edit that and give it more detail, then you can click this little A to edit, and whenever you press the enter button, it will actually give you some paragraphing as opposed to posting your message straight away, and it gives you a lot more editing features along the top here. To change it to an announcement style post, you can choose just up here, but that's most likely going to be reserved for your teachers. You can also choose by clicking this A button who you would like to actually post it for. Most of the time as a student, it is highly likely all you will need to do is type a standard style of post, especially when you go to, say, reply to a post. That is going to be the default as well. A couple of other little features to be familiar with. You can click this attachment if you need to upload a file. It is not recommended that you upload any of your personal classwork to this page because this is open to everyone in the team. But as an example, some things that you can attach, you can collect them from inside of Teams. Maybe you have files already in the Files tab, you can link to them. OneDrive and other cloud drives such as Google Drive, you can link directly to files in those, and you can also directly upload from your device. There are emojis and GIFs that could be posted if necessary, and this is where your teacher will commence a Teams meeting by pressing this option. Videos or previous meetings or online lessons that have been recorded can also be linked to Microsoft Stream. Praise can be given to individuals or groups, depending on what you've been working on and require praise for. And another important thing to be aware of is that Microsoft Teams does link with a number of external education tools and applications, including Quizlet and a few others just there as an example. Okay, that is a quick introduction to just the post screen on Microsoft Teams.